How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech. Now, the MH670 has been out for around 2 years now, and after reviewing quite a few other wireless gaming headsets in that time, I'm actually still very much impressed at how the 670 stacks up. Currently, it is retailing for around $100 or 1,700 Rand. First time that is actually a one-to-one for the currency conversion. Usually it's a lot more, but it's right there with the majority of the other mid-range gaming wireless headsets. Now, for that $100, you get a mostly a plastic body, but with a solid pair of ear cups. The frame inner side is made out of steel, which does allow it to bend and twist quite a fair amount without you needing to worry that it's actually going to snap in two. You really have to go quite far for it to damage your headset. Now, one small issue that I did find in the beginning, but it got better over time, is that it is a bit stiff when you do extend the ear cups, but after a while it does get a bit looser where it's not as bad anymore. Now, that was just a little small issue that I had. Now, the ear cups are able to tilt and swivel all around, and you can also then rest it on top of your head, on your neck, if you don't damage your microphone there. So if you wanted to leave it here and just listen to music like that, or just use it when quickly going to the bathroom, then that's quite handy, and especially if you can extend it a bit more as well. It does sit on top of your neck quite comfortably. Now, unlike the MH650 that I have reviewed previously, which is the wired version, the 670 does not feature any RGB on the ear cups. It did look actually quite good on the 650s, but the 670s does not have that. But again, these are wireless, and you'd rather want to save your battery life instead of draining your RGB on something you're not even really going to see. Instead of you're streaming, maybe then you'll see yourself in your camera. But anyway, moving on. We'll get into the battery life a bit later. Now, around the bottom side of the ear cups, you do have your audio controls there, like your volume wheel, which has a good amount of rotation, the mic mute button, the 3.5mm jack for wired mode, and also the detachable mic port. Then on the left side, you do have your 7.1 virtual surround sound button, the micro USB charging port, and also the power button. Now, I did wish that it was Type C, but hopefully the next version will feature a Type C instead. Now, along with the headset, you do have your micro USB charging cable, a 3.5mm TRRS to TRRS audio jacks if you want to use it in a wired mode, your detachable microphone, and then also your USB quite large wireless receiver. Now, it is still a USB Type A, but you do get an included 90-degree USB Type A to Type C adapter. So if you want to use it with your phone, with your Switch, or so on, you do have that option. But I am looking forward to seeing potentially the next version being a fully Type C, or at least having a bit smaller wireless receiver. These are getting a bit too big for the current time. We have seen some other ones being quite a bit smaller, but again, 2 years old, I'll let it slide. Now, getting into comfort, both the earbands padding and also the ear cups cushions are a PU leather. Now, I would have preferred the cloth material that was on the 670s. They do breathe a bit easier, especially in the summer. It does get quite hot here, especially I'm currently on the farm, and here it gets really hot in this room. Currently it's winter, so it's not that bad, but the leather isn't bad. It's still soft to the touch and has plenty of comfort when sitting over your ears. Now, one tiny issue that I had with comfort is that the top padding, even though it's still nice and soft, you do feel a bit more on a more centralized location on your head. So, not a deal breaker, definitely, and it will get better over time once the cloth, the padding inside does wear out a bit and gets a bit softer. But for me, because I haven't used it for months now, it's still a bit hard for me. But now again, that's not an issue for the ear cups padding. Like I mentioned before, it's nice and soft. soft and does sit comfortably over your ears. Now what I also do like quite a lot is that these do feature a padding on the inside of the driver wall. Now for me personally, my ears do tend to scratch against the driver wall, and on some of the headsets it can get really irritating for me, but on these ones it's not an issue because they did add that extra layer of a padding there. Really nice for me. That's a major plus. Now as for clamping force, it was somewhat tight and also somewhat loose at the same time. It's tight so that it doesn't make a proper seal around your ear, but also because it's a bit more bottom heavy, most of the weight is in the ear cups of course, it does tend to fall off if you do shake your head, but mostly if you shake your head to the sides, not really up and down, which is interesting. But overall, comfort was very good for me, and I was able to use the 670s for multiple hours of gaming, and also did some editing and watching movies and so on as well, so no issues overall really. Now getting into audio quality, just like the 670s, it's a very good with the 50mm neodymium drivers delivering a good sound quality and also a lot of output. The Windows volume never went above 50% while listening to music, gaming, and so on, but I usually also don't like blasting my ears too loudly, so you can also push it a bit more, but it will have plenty of a volume for that. Now the MH670 has a frequency response ranging of between 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and it has a well-balanced frequency range with no clear range overpowering the others. Highs are super clear with full mids, and bass was also pretty good with a good amount of punch where you can still feel it. Now as for gaming, the stereo surround is good as well, with footsteps being clear, shots being crisp, and explosions relatively powerful with that bass. Plus having the virtual 7.1 adds a tiny bit of surround sound and just gets you into the game a bit more. Now I know a lot of people don't necessarily like the virtual 7.1, but it is a nice feature for me personally, although a lot of times I actually forget to use it. But again, that's just me. Now, as for the range and battery life, it was still able to reach more than 15 meters away, and it could even go upstairs in the previous place that I was living at, where it then slightly dropped a connection. Now battery life was also very good, with its surviving 3 days of long sessions, which is somewhere around like 17 to 19 hours. Again, very good actually. Alright, so this is how the microphone sounds. Of course, it is a detachable, bendable mic, so you can move it around all you want and everything, but this is how it sounds, and actually doesn't sound too bad. Now, of course, it is still a headset microphone, so it's not the greatest, but it's definitely usable. Just chat with your buds or so on. Skype call here and there, or Zoom call these days, so it's definitely not too bad. Now, it still picks up your keyboard, and these are Logitech Roamer switches, the tactile ones. So it's not entirely too clicky, but it is a bit more, and it does pick that up. But volume-wise, it's also pretty decent. I don't think it's going to be an issue, and you don't need to add any gain or anything like that. But it does pick up more room and noise. So yeah, this is how it sounds. So then, in conclusion, even though again the MH670 is around 2 years old now, it still delivers plenty for your money. Again, $100 or 1,700 Rand. I think for here in South Africa, it's actually even a better buy than compared to overseas for the 1,700 Rand. It has plenty of comfort, proper build quality, and then also the sound quality was very good as well. Easily take it wherever you want. And again, also if you want to use it with your phone with the adapter, you can. It's just again a tiny bit large, but you do have that option at least, or with your Switch or so on. Hopefully for the next versions, they will again switch to Type-C entirely and then give you a normal adapter for that. But overall, no real complaints for the 670s. If you're in the market for a new wireless gaming headset, there's still a good option to go for. The competition is getting a bit heated in the more mid-range kind of budget wireless gaming headset market, but they're definitely still an option, and I'm looking forward to what Cooler Master is going to bring out next. But if you want to get these for yourself, I will leave links in the video description. Also, if you potentially want me to compare these to other wireless gaming headsets that I have taken a look at it before, let me know down in the comments below. And big thanks to Cooler Master South Africa for sending these over for review. And I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always. We'll check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.